Hi everyone, how's it going, and welcome to my official Game Week 1 team reveal draft in FPL. And obviously with the whole Kane saga that's been going on, my team's slightly changed since basically yesterday. I had a full team set out for about the past 5-6 days with Kane in it, and now I've had to change it, but I'm very set on this one. It wasn't too much of an issue, it was just swapping two players around and that was it. So as you can see by the thumbnail, I've got a 96% rating on this draft by Fantasy Football Hub. And let's get straight into things and we will look at the draft. So starting us off in the defence then, we've got Sam Johnson in goal. I think he's my favourite 4.5 million goalkeeper in the game. It's really between him and then obviously Flecken's kind of there as well, but his abilities kind of brought him a bit down the ladder. A lot of people going for Pickford as well, but I'm going to go for Sam Johnson because I personally think I prefer the Crystal Palace defence than I do over the Everton defence. We've also got John Stones, Ben Chilwell and Gabriel in there to make up the three at the back. For me, that's the 5 best defenders you can get off the start. One of the most popular players that I don't have is Stupinan in there, personally because I don't like his fixtures after the first couple of game weeks. So I think that'd be a fairly early transfer that I don't really want to be making. And if I do end up wanting him and Chilwell doesn't perform, I can downgrade him and then I've got 0.5 in the bank as well. I think Stupinan is going to be one of those players that drops in price fairly early because a lot of people are going to be taking him out purely because of the fixtures. So Stones, Gabriel, Chilwell. I think Stones and Gabriel, at least, they're two players that have a great goal threat and fixtures wise look decent for clean sheets. Ben Chilwell's looks fantastic in pre-season. Attacking wise he could do great, especially against Liverpool, who concede a lot of goals down his side. So he's going to be starting, and I think for me that's the best defence you can get off the start. In the midfield then, we're going for a 3-5-2. I've got Salah in this draft, I've got Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Mbeumo and Eze. Now, a lot of people don't really want to go for Salah because you can spread the money out and obviously get a lot more like mid-ranged players in there. I personally think I just want to have Salah in the team, especially with his Game Week 1 record and then Bournemouth in Game Week 2. I probably will captain him that week as well. So for me, he's got to be there for me. And there's no real way that I'm taking him out. The other option was to go for Rashford in Salah's spot and then upgrade the attackers and go for more of a strong attack, and then I'd have enough money to upgrade to an 8 million midfielder. But for me, I'm more than happy with my two 6.5s. I think Mbeumo's the best option at the 6.5 mil range, especially with the penalties and possibly playing as the striker. And I think Eze's up there, probably joint second for the 6.5. It's between him and Diaby for me. I don't have Watkins in this draft, so Diaby was very highly considered just to try and cover him. But I'm going to go for Eze because I think he's just going to be a bit better being on the set pieces, being on possibly the penalties. I'm not really too sure what happens there with Palace with Zaha gone. But I think Eze's going to do very, very well, and Palace have decent fixtures off the start as well. Saka is a mainstay in most teams anyway. I think the fact he's only 0.5 more than Martinelli, and I think the same price as Odegaard, Saka's easily the best one there. And then I've got Bruno. It's between him and Rashford. I've went for Bruno because I'd want to keep 0.5 mil in the bank. This team does have 0.5 in the bank just in case, and I'll explain that soon. But yeah, went for Bruno in there. He's going to have the penalties, and I think he's going to be a very decent option this year. And then wrapping up the starting 11, we probably have the two most common strikers in the game. It's Erling Haaland and João Pedro. Pedro I'm not too happy about, but in order to get Salah in there, Pedro's got to be there. Haaland I don't even have to say anything about, so Pedro's in there just so I can get Salah. I think Pedro's going to be playing for Brighton, and if he's on the penalties it's even better, but he's, again, if a couple weeks down the line and he's not playing, I'll just downgrade Salah to someone and then I'll upgrade Pedro to, say, a Watkins. But that is the starting 11. I've said I've got 0.5 in the bank. That's basically to allow me to upgrade to Richarlison at any point. Obviously I had Kane, and I would like to have a Spurs attacker in there because of the way they're going to play this season. Son, I was a big advocate of Son right off the start, but unfortunately he's not really performed too much in pre-season. With Richarlison's injury, we don't really know what's happening with that yet, which is why I'm holding off on him for now. Son could play through the middle, but again, we don't really know what's happening with Richarlison, so I think it's too risky to go for off the start. But again, I've got 0.5 in the bank, so if Richarlison's nailed to start on Saturday or Sunday, a couple of weeks down the line, I can bring him in with the extra money and take out one of Mbeumo or Eze. And finally, to round off the whole team, we've got the bench in there as well. Turners and goals, I went for him over Areola because I think Areola is going to drop in price quite early because I think Fabianski's going to play instead. And that's just going to lead to people selling him, and then he'll drop down to 3.9 very quickly. I've got Cash as a 4.5 million defender in the first sub slot, purely because I wanted a decent playing substitute. And Cash for me is the best 4.5 defender. There's obviously arguments for Colwill. I personally don't know if Colwill is going to play. He could be another player that drops quite early on if he doesn't end up in the starting 11. And I've got Chilwell in there anyway, so I didn't really want to go double Chelsea defence. So I've got Cash, because I think Villa are going to be decent, and I wanted at least one Villa player since I'm missing out on Watkins and Diaby. Mabama, don't know if he's really going to do too much. I mean, he's the second sub, same with Baldock. But again, 0.5 million in the bank with that squad, and I'm very happy with it. Haaland obviously captain in the first week, Salah against Bournemouth in the second week, and then we'll go from there. But that's the full team, and I'm very confident going into game week 1 with this team. As I said, it's got a 96% rating, and I think it's got an expected about 52 points. The fixtures are fairly decent. There's not one red fixture in there. I think everyone's got at least more than 3 points, but we've got a lot of green and orange fixtures in there, so I'm not too fussed about that. Obviously Chilwell against Liverpool, you're hoping for an attack and return there. But other than that, again, as I say, for the first few game weeks, that team's sorted for me, and it's not really changed. The only thing I had to change with Kane was have Kane. It was Kane and a 4.5 midfielder, and I've changed it to Salah and a 4.5 attacker. You know, so there's really no real issues going on there. But that's it for the video. If you like the draft, please leave a like and subscribe. And as I say, later on, my Sky Fantasy draft will be coming out. Obviously, the Premier League starts today, so I'm going to have 2 videos coming out. And later on at 6 PM, 7 PM, at 6 PM I'll be joining Golden Goal Fantasy Football for a quick Twitter space, purely for the Sky side of things. So if you're interested in that, make sure you set a reminder over on Twitter and be there when it starts up. But as I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.